Hey guys, how's it going and welcome back. So this is the review of the Epiphone DR-100 natural top left-handed version. Now they do have the right-handed version in 4 different color choices. Come on Epiphone, give us lefties some more colors, okay? I like some of the colors of the other ones. A little bit more than natural top. So yeah, natural is nice on a Taylor or maybe even a Martin, but just on this I'd like something different, right? But you can't. It's the way it is. Anyways, I've been playing with this thing for a while. I rented it from Long McQuaid in North Bay, and it sells for about $250. Now, left or right-handed version, exact same price. Now, this is a beginner grade level guitar. It is not a intermediate or advanced player level guitar. It is a beginner guitar. But for me, I don't care, even though I'm an advanced player. I don't care that it's beginner grade. I wanted something to play around with that's a little bit more comfy, and a little bit more lighter weight than my Epiphone J200 behind us, which we will be doing a versus video, by the way, this against it, to see which one you like the sound of best. Now, there is a huge difference in price, obviously, between the two and features. This does not have electronics. It is a plain Jane acoustic guitar with a solid natural top. That's what you get. It does have a bound fretboard, though. It does have nice fretwork. It's got a nice low action on it, too, which you could squeeze a little tiny bit more out of it if you wanted it even lower, but even for me, that's pretty low for an acoustic. That's nice. The tuners. Now, I gotta be honest, and I always am, these tuners suck, okay? I mean, they do tend to get really tight as you're tuning up to pitch, okay? Don't ever tune down to pitch on even the best quality tuners out there because they'll just slip. Alright, so you always have to, if you go over pitch, you have to tune down and then tune back up to pitch. Take your time, take it slow, okay? And you'll get things up to pitch and you'll be fine. And I recommend Snark Digital tuners, by the way. I have a couple of these things kicking around. I love the red model because it's actually the most accurate and most sensitive of all of them. So there's another plug for Long McQuaid because that's where I buy them from when I need them. But anyways, the guitar will not hold tune overnight, so that is a bad point. I mean, guitars, as it is, they do fall out of tune, even if you put them away perfectly tuned, right, which is my general practice, because I do it to keep an eye on, how much is things moving for wood in my room with my guitars, because wood is something that does move all the time. How much it moves depends on your heat and your humidity levels in your room where you store your guitars, okay, whether you hang them up or leave them in cases. Either way, I hang mine all up because I have in-floor heating, so I can't even have them on floor stands where they would get wrecked. So I have to keep them 3 to 4 feet from the bottom of the guitar off the ground level of my floor to keep them safe, which also means I got to watch my heat levels in the room too. So anyways, regardless of that fact, that's the nature of wood, that's the nature of guitars. They never stay in perfect tune. But while you are playing, this thing will stay in tune really well, and you can get away with playing quite a number of songs depending on how basically violent you are with your strumming. So we're going to do a little bit of playing for you guys, and then we're going to talk some more, give you our final rating, and what we really think in the end. Okay. I like the sound of this thing. I like how well it plays. Minimal amount of buzz, which you're going to get buzz on an acoustic anyways, but minimal, which is nice. So it is definitely very well set up from the factory. So A plus there. The build quality on this thing is really good. The fit, the finish. I'll be darned to find any real flaws or anything that would even bother me, but I still can't find any flaws in the finish on this thing. So they did a really amazing job on this. So now these things here, these ones are made actually in China. And you know, for a $250 guitar in Canada, it's actually pretty decent. Whether you're a lefty or a righty, you can get it both ways, just so you can only get this finish in the left-handed version. If you're a right-handed player, you have 4 choices. This one and 3 others. And I like the other choices too. They're kind of nice. Good thing I can play both ways. However, I don't personally like the tuners because A, they do get very scary tight when you're tuning up to pitch, but they will not hold overnight very well. I mean, I expect that any of my guitars, even with really high-end tuners on them, to fall out a little bit here and there, you know, but what I don't like to see is when it drops an entire octave, okay, or an entire step, okay. So E will drop right down to like basically D or a little D sharpish, and you know A is going to do the same sort of thing. It might even, you know, drop down even further, and you know, so it really doesn't hold stability under tension overnight. So, and you know, when you put your guitar away tuned, you should expect to pick it up in the morning anyways, and it should be slightly out on maybe 1 or 2 strings, maybe even all of them could be out just a little tiny pinch. But when you got to start going to get her back up to pitch, that is a bad tuner. And I have never honestly liked these style of tuners. These are very poor low-end tuners. I mean, they're the cheapest thing you can throw on any guitar. So, but hey, at least they put some tuners on, right? But they could have done better. For an extra $5, they could have put on some sealed tuners that would hold much, much better, okay? Anyways, so that's something to be aware of. You know, you're going to definitely really have to make sure you retune, because you'll be able to tell like how far it's out when you first strum it in the morning, and it's going to go all over the place. So, you know, for an example, let me give you an idea of about where this one usually has been sitting at by morning. That looks about pretty close to where it is every single morning. That's really bad, okay? And that's where I have found this thing sitting every morning. I pull it off the wall, and it's that whacked, okay? So that's why I'm saying the tuners on this are very poor on the overnight setting, okay? They just don't want to hold. But while you're playing, it does hold really well. That's the good point to them, right? So as long as you're tuning up to pitch only, right? Because if you tune down to pitch on any tuner, they're not going to hold. You won't even get through a song. Okay. back to normal. So anyways, the only real bad point about this guitar in total is the tuners are very poor and don't hold their tune very well, or if at all overnight at least. While you're playing though, as long as you're not being overly aggressive, they definitely will hold. Now, I like to play the blues and I like to get aggressive in my playing, you know, so I'll be kind of like this. Okay, so if we check our tuning now, doing something like that, did it stay? E is dropped down. Just the low E dropped down on us a bit. So that's not bad, but not entirely encouraging at the same time. So, but I'm also being very aggressive too at the same time. So that's another thing. Yeah, overall though, it is a really good guitar, and I think for $250, you really can't go wrong for a beginner grade level machine. Intermediate guys and above, you're not going to want this thing unless you upgrade the tuners, and then you'll have better tuning stability throughout all your playing and overnight, because it is a decently built guitar. Right, it is not garbage. Right, I mean, I've played on garbage. Trust me, I've owned garbage. And this is actually really decent in the price range. Now, if you want something better for a few dollars more, I mean, do take a look at Yamaha guitars for about $260, you know, $270 in that area. They make a great beginner guitar that's also perfect for intermediate level players as well, and fantastic tuners that come on that thing. So I've had that one. Actually, I've had a few of them. One of them is the FX series, the 800, I believe it was my last one, and it was great. But for Epiphone and $250, I think overall you got a pretty good basic guitar to get you going. Just make sure that you're retuning every morning, because it will sound very horrifying, as we've seen. So that's something to keep in mind. Anyways, before I do take this back though to Long McQuaid, because it is a rental and I'm not buying it, I do want to do a versus video of this against the J200 behind me from Epiphone, and see what you guys think about the sound difference between them. And so we're going to do that one next. So keep your eyes out for that video as well today. But in the meantime, thanks so much for watching. Hang out for this review. It is a good buy. You just got to be aware of the tuners. That's the only real downside to this thing. If you want a star rating, though, I'm honestly going to have to put this thing at, like, I'll go with 4 out of 5 to be generous. Realistically, I'd like to say 3 3/4 because the tuners are that bad. But they do hold tune reasonably well while playing, depending on how aggressive you get. So for that reason, we will push it to a 4 out of 5 because it's not perfect, and the tuners, that's where we're at. So anyways, see ya.